Well, good morning, everyone. Time to rise and shine on this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. We are so excited that it's Friday, but we are not excited about the snow that fell this morning.
No.
So we're talking to meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Thomas, please tell me it's over.
Yeah, it looks like it's over. And honestly, the snow that was falling, wasn't it melting as it was hitting the ground anyways? This was expected. There might be a little bit that's left over on some grassy surfaces, but this was pretty insignificant in terms of snowfall through the winter season. It might just be more academic if we have to add another tenth or two to those official winter totals. But yeah, this was expected to get a little bit of light snow through these early morning hours, still a little bit near Spangle and out towards Cheney where these light snow showers are still a little bit more persistent. But you're seeing plenty of green, especially over Coeur d'Alene, and even that activity is coming to an end pretty quickly here this morning. By the way, temperatures are above the freezing mark, and that's a big reason why any of that snow is having a hard time sticking to the roads, especially after it got to 50 yesterday and we're still above freezing this morning. So no worries about the snow, just an overall wet start to our Friday morning.
Well, Idaho Governor Brad Little is defending his state's abortion laws and criticizing those in Washington state in a new letter sent to Governor Inslee.
Well, Governor Inslee had urged Little not to sign a new law that bans anyone under 18 from leaving Idaho to get an abortion without their parents' consent. Governor Little responded to Inslee, saying the Supreme Court gave each state the right to create their own abortion rules. He also criticized Washington state as a whole, saying, in part, quote, "It is hard to imagine why anyone would leave Idaho for Washington when your state is home to sky-high taxes, crime, and public encampments," end quote. Governor Inslee responded with a simple two-sentence statement. He said, quote, "Unserious diatribes will not deter Washington from defending the freedom and safety of anyone who comes here." And in our In Session series, we help you make sense of the hot topics in the legislature. The death penalty is officially banned in Washington state.
So after years of restrictions and legal maneuvers preventing executions, the governor signed a full ban into effect yesterday. The state last executed someone in 2010. Inslee announced a moratorium on the death penalty in 2014, vowing to never sign a death warrant while in office. The state Supreme Court invalidated the law in 2018 after ruling it was racially biased. A statistical analysis from the University of Washington found that juries were about 4 times more likely to sentence black defendants to death.
Study after study have revealed that how people of color are most likely to get the death penalty than other people. And to finally remove that noose from around our neck, that's substantial, particularly here in Washington state.
Now, between 1904 and 2010, the state of Washington executed 78 people.
Yesterday, Governor Inslee also signed a bill into law creating a new team that will investigate cold cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women and people. The state attorney general's office will run the new unit. Washington state has the second highest number of missing Indigenous people in the entire United States. The new team will help law enforcement agencies, especially in smaller ones, dig into cases for members of the Indigenous population. The AG's office will also be allowed to prosecute cases in those smaller counties if needed.
And Governor Inslee is expected to sign a bill that will prevent utility companies from shutting services off for non-payment during extreme heat. The bill was backed by Attorney General Bob Ferguson. His office pointed to data from Yakima, where the number of days with above 90-degree weather has increased to more than 50 days a year in the last decade. In Washington, it's already illegal for utilities to shut off power during extremely cold weather, and some utility companies, including Puget Sound Energy, already prevent shutoffs during extreme heat. Now, there are just a few days left in this legislative session. Lawmakers have until Sunday to finalize the budget for the next 2 years. We're also waiting to see possible action on a new drug possession law and possibly a new transportation budget for road projects across the state.
And it's 6:05 now. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. Spokane Valley police are looking for a man who allegedly exposed himself to 2 girls in a school parking lot. The girls told police the man got their attention and then exposed himself. Anyone with information should call the number at the bottom of your screen. The man who hit a woman with his truck and killed her is on the court schedule to be sentenced today. Jonathan Reiser admitted to smoking marijuana the night before and taking a pill just hours before the crash. The prosecution said he also had meth in his system and was acting recklessly. The judge could sentence Reiser to up to 9 years in prison. Spokane County leaders unveiled plans for a new jail to bring overcrowding down. The $305 million project would increase the county jail capacity to more than 1,300 beds by the year 2028. The goal is to eventually phase out the Geiger Corrections Center near Airway Heights. Now, it's not approved yet, but county commissioners did vote to add a 0.2% sales tax on this year's November ballot to help pay for the new facility. And this was a bummer, a tough loss for the Seattle Kraken in the game two of the Stanley Cup playoffs against Colorado last night. The series is now tied at 1 apiece. The teams now head to Seattle for games 3 and 4. The Kraken are back on the ice tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Well, whether it is taking a walk in one of our local parks or getting your gardens prepped as spring sets in, this Earth Day weekend, the Inland Northwest will have several opportunities to celebrate our planet. This morning, Up with KREM's Brandon T. Jones is sharing some of the ways we can get outside. Brandon, you're already outside right now.
Oh, you know it, Channing. I'm outside, and just in the last 10 minutes or so, I had a revolution, I guess maybe you could say. It's like, look behind me. It's so foggy outside, but it's so cool. I mean, Earth is such an amazing planet. Like, there's a beautiful view behind me, but the sun hopefully will eventually burn those clouds off. Let me stop talking. I want to talk about Earth Day, honestly. I mean, I'm just so happy to be a part of this beautiful Earth. And how lucky are we to be celebrating Earth Day in such an amazing part of the country, a part of the world, because the Inland Northwest is, I mean, the sights, the views, everything in between. It's just, you know, top tier. But yesterday I had a chance to speak with the Spokane Lands Council about some of the activities that are taking place here in the Inland Northwest, and they've got an activity called Earth Fest from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Turnbull National Wildlife Refuge. You can participate in tree planting, nursery potting, a guided nature tour, hike, and just celebrating Mother Nature overall. In that conversation I had with the council, they also told me they'll be doing a tree giveaway at the Hilliard campus of On Track Academy from 9 to 12 on Saturday.
And then folks can always come here to Blue Moon Nursery or other local nurseries in town and stock up on perennials or annuals for your garden beds and planter boxes.
So those are just a few of the activities you can take part in for Earth Day tomorrow. We also want to hear what your favorite things to do outdoors are. Go ahead and text us at 509-448-2000 and let us know what your ideal way to spend the day is. Reporting live in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Well, looking ahead to this weekend, National Parks Week officially kicks off tomorrow as well. There's almost 2,600 square miles of national parks in Washington state, from the North Cascades to the rainforests in Olympic National Park. The parks are waiving their entrance fees tomorrow to kick the week off, so if you're hoping to celebrate Earth Day out in nature, it'll definitely be a good day to do it. National Parks Week goes through Sunday, April 30th.
So that actually brings us to our wake-up call this morning. As part of celebrating Earth Day and reducing waste, we want to know what food makes the best leftovers. And we've got in some really good ones this morning. One person saying pasta. I know I'm weird. No, that's not weird. Pasta's always great as a leftover. Another person saying you can make anything from leftover chicken. That is very true.
Yeah.
If you get if you make chicken, you can make anything out of that the next several days.
I have some in my freezer right now.
Yeah, didn't you make burritos?
I did.
Nice. So text us your favorite leftover foods, 509-448-2000, or post to social media and use the hashtag UpWithKREM.